Shanti once again. Ready to start? So I think we have about 1 hour or so. And I think some others are still coming. But we'll just start anyway. So this session we're calling Quantum Leap in Brahmin life. So what is a quantum leap? It's you literally jump from one dimension to another. It's a big jump. In Baba's language, he calls it as taking a high jump. A high jump. And so why we should look at these kinds of things, it's partly in accordance with time. That we know it's the confluence age, but also it's the end of the confluence age. We see that apart from the changes we see outside in terms of climate change and increased global conflicts, political chaos and all of that, but also we see in terms of our own yagya, Bap Dada doesn't come anymore. The era of the Dadis is over. Of course, Dadi Ratan Mohini is there, but Dadi's actively sustaining the family is over. So we have to check ourselves and see, where am I at? And Baba is asking us to come to his place now. He says, I've been coming to you, now you come to me upstairs. And so it means something has to change in our approach. Are you familiar with something called the endgame? You know, endgame theory, some of you may know that. And what it says is that in any process you are in, as you come towards the final part of the process, you have to change your tactics. The most obvious example is in athletics. If you're running 1,500 meters race, it's a long race. So you start off kind of jogging, going slowly. But as the runners come to the home straight, to the final part, they sprint, they go as fast as they can. So they have to change tactics at the end of the race. Also, when it comes to negotiations, business negotiations, if there is a major business deal happening, a trade deal, then to get the final signature on the deal, you have to change your tactics to seal the deal. Also in a war, as one army is conquering the other, towards the end of that war, the army changes tactics to complete what they are doing. Similarly speaking, in our spiritual journey, we may have been making a certain kind of effort for a while, but Baba then asks us to make an upgrade. He says you can't make effort anymore, it has to be intense effort. And he goes further and says make double intense effort. Maybe you'll say triple next time. But he's certainly saying, you know, that read the room, see what's happening around you, and don't just keep making the same quality of effort as you were before. Something has to improve now. There are some ideas on what can maybe help us to improve. So I'm going to show a couple of models, and then there's a little activity to do as well. So firstly, here is a formula. formula is this, that the result of anything, in other words, the output, is connected to two things. It's the input or the effort that you make, right? So the effort you make impacts the result of the output. But this is divided by the waste that you also produce. Now, this may be useful if somebody can write this in Thai. Someone do that? Just write in Thai. So it's more clear here. Great. So if we want to improve our result in something, what do we have to do? Anybody good at mathematics here? Only more effort and all right, that's what we're looking for. Yeah, yeah, increase the effort and also reduce the waste. Now, usually what we tend to do, thank you so much. What we tend to do is we only make more effort. I have to do this more, I have to be on time, I have to, it's good, of course. But we seem to pay less attention to reducing the waste. And that's where I think we all have to pay more attention in order to make a high jump or a quantum leap in our progress. In simple terms, do the right thing more, do the wrong thing less. And for everyone, it's very personal. So we have to think for ourselves that what are the areas where I waste my soul energy? And Baba has called these as leakage points. Check for the self. For example, in which situations do waste thoughts get triggered for me? In which situations do I over-emote? In which situations do I tend to waste time? It's a very personal thing. You have to, one has to check one's own self and then see what can I do to plug up those leakage areas. What strategies can I use? What has Baba said about dealing with those situations where the sanskar gets triggered? So we have to make a plan for that. Identify the wastage points, the leakage points, and make a plan for each of those areas. Plus, of course, the effort part. What do I need to do more and better in order to get a better result? So bearing this in mind, that this double fast effort or intense effort is connected to these two things, let's look at another model or chart here, which can help us to identify further where individually we need to pay a bit more attention. So I'm going to show you another model. Don't write anything yet, but after showing you, then I will ask you to write something. So this you can call as your wheel of contentment. Wheel of contentment. Now wheels. Why are wheels round? To move, right? To move fast. What if wheels were square? How would that be? Take more effort. If wheels were triangular, would that be okay? Yeah. All right. So if wheels are round, they move most easily and you can move fast. So, how is your wheel of contentment? So, we're going to look at 8 areas of the Brahmin life and just see your personal level of contentment in those areas. So, as I say, don't write anything just yet. If we were to consider this as 0 point, in other words, not content, and the end of each of these lines represents 10 out of 10. In other words, full contentment with that particular area. So what are the areas? Now again, it may help to write this in Thai. Sorry to keep pulling you up, but do we have a second marker, by the way? Is there another marker? No, we'll start from here. Okay? So hang on. Here you put Amrit Vela. Amrit Vela. Are you comfortable there or do you need to be here? Yeah, okay. So then you ask yourself, for example, out of 0 to 10, how content am I with my Amrit Vela? So you may say, well, I do Amrit Vela, but sometimes it's a bit sleepy, sometimes not so good. So you may say it's a 5. So just put a dot there, a point. Okay? So just for example, it may be 5. All right, I can take one of those just to keep it from drying up. Okay, so that's one area of our lives. Then another area is Murli churning. Murli churning. And you ask yourself, do I actively churn the Murli? Am I an active churner or am I a passive churner? Do I rely on other people's churnings to motivate me? Or do I really listen to the Murli, take a point, and get busy with it? Am I actively churning? You may say, well, I listen to the Murli and maybe it's a 7. I take 1 or 2 points, but it could be a little bit better, maybe. The third area could be your yoga during the day. Your state of yoga as you are passing through the day. So then, as I'm passing through the day, cooking, eating, in meetings, traveling, planting trees, doing whatever I'm doing, am I in a state of yoga? Do I still practice to be in some connection with Baba? Or do I get lost in my actions and then later on I think, oh, what happened to me? So you may say, well, I think maybe that's perhaps a 3, I need to pay more attention to being in yoga through the day. Another one could be service. Service. And the question there is again, do I actively seek out service? Am I active in service? Do I put myself forward in service? Or do I wait for somebody to ask me to do service? So how is my cooperation level? There's 3 kinds of cooperation here. This could be long. You may want to sit down. Here. So there's something called passive cooperation. There is active cooperation and there's proactive cooperation. So for example, passive cooperation, let's say you want to go out, it's raining, and I have an umbrella. And you ask me, can I borrow your umbrella? And I say, of course, sure, here it is, please take it. Passive cooperation. Active cooperation, I offer you my umbrella without you asking. I say, look, you're going out, it's raining here, would you like my umbrella? You didn't have to ask me, I offered by myself. Proactive cooperation, I notice the weather is going to be bad tomorrow. I know you're going out. I suggest you might need my umbrella. Maybe you should take some raincoat. I see your need before even you see it. Proactive cooperation. And these are different levels of karma. Passive cooperation, good karma, but the fruit is small. Active, proactive, higher level karma, the fruit is bigger. Sorry, passive cooperation, active cooperation, then proactive cooperation, the fruit is even bigger because the quality of the karma is very high. And so in that sense, Baba has used another set of categories. He said, if someone does something good after being asked, he's an ordinary human. If someone does something without needing to be asked, it's a deity quality. And if someone doesn't do something good, even after being asked, it's a devilish person. So in terms of service, Baba wants us to be proactive, to be creative, to be self-motivated. So then the question there is that, how am I with regard to service? So you may say, well, not bad. I think I'm an 8, you know, I'm thinking about service, coming up with plans. All right, then another one here could be, next one, is relationships with the Brahmin family. So another area for us to look at, that how are my relationships? What is the state of my relationships with other Brahmins? Is there an exchange of love and respect? Is there harmony? Is there friendliness? You may not be getting on like a house on fire with everyone. You may not be best friends with everyone, but at least there should be love and respect. And if I have tension with 1 or 2 people, I can't leave it like that. Because you cannot take that toxic energy with you back to the soul world. It will have to be knocked out of you by Dharamraj. It's like when you're going through airport screening. You know, before you get into the airport, you have to check everything. Take off your jacket, take off your belt, take off your shoes. If you've got even 1 key in your pocket, toot, 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 toot. Again, please, again. Still there, then they check you with the machine. So too, if you've got any toxic energy in you and you want to go back to soul world, Dharamraj will say, toot, 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 toot. Stop, stop, what's this, what's this? So I have to clean by myself. Yeah. If I have any tension with someone, what's the solution? Usually the solution is in 2 main things: love and respect. I have to show some more love and some more respect to smoothen out that relationship. Even if somebody else doesn't want to talk to me, that's their business. But from my side, let me clean my part. And that's our responsibility, to take the initiative to inject love and respect in our relationships. So at least the relation becomes smooth. And it tends to happen that if I'm doing that, if not on a verbal level, at least on a mind level, then it impacts the attitude of the other person. And they also become more accepting. So you may say, well, relationships with the family, not too bad. Maybe it's a 6 or so. I have some work to do. Then there's relationships with the Lokik family. And interestingly enough, Baba talked about it today, right, in the Murli. So again, it may tend to be that, when you first come to Baba, the Lokiks don't like it. They may complain in some situations. But I should find a way to make those relations smooth. And again, a big part of it is giving respect. Finding yuktis to be able to, that they become content with me. And we can't sideline it and think, well, they are Lokiks, so, who cares? But no, I have to check all my relationships. And once Baba had said that 95% of the people in your life should be content with you. What do you think about that? 95%? Possible? Too much? They think it's too much. It says 5%, maybe you have some severe karmic accounts, but we have to work on that as well. Because we are Sattva Pradhan, deity souls, golden age souls. It doesn't suit us to carry that toxic energy inside us. So you may say, well, with the Lokiks, perhaps maybe it's a 7. No? Not too bad. But some maybe attention is needed. Another area is then physical health, your body. So that also we have to pay attention to. And so we have to ask ourselves, do I take care of this temple, of this last costume of the cycle? So just checking basic things, like just make sure that check the diet, check the exercise, check, the sleep level. It's different for every person, but we can't just ignore the body. So some attention has to be paid there as well, because it's through the body that we will do service. We can help others. We can create our fortune. So you may say, well, yeah, I think I'm not doing too bad there. Maybe it's a 9. Maybe you do that well. The last area could be your job, your Lokik job. How do you feel when you are in your Lokik job? Do you wish you were not there? Do you feel, when can I go home? No? I used to spend 8 hours in an office wishing I was somewhere else. Then I thought, this is too much of my life. With the feeling, I wish, thank you so much. And I thought, no, I have to find a way to make this part of my Brahmin life. Not that, Lokik job is something dirty and it's a failure like that. Then I began to change it into a Lokik. So, okay, sometimes maybe you need to change a job or you need to move according to your situation. But the point is, I shouldn't feel discontented for all those hours in the office. I should make a change, or I should change my attitude in some way and see it also as a place for spiritual service. And if you don't have a job, if maybe you're retired, for example, or between jobs, then that area could be how you spend your time. Are you content with how you spend your time during the day? What do you do with your time? So a person may say, well, maybe it's a 5, not the best. It'll be different for every person. The next thing you do is you join the dots. And there is your wheel of contentment. How fast will your car move if your wheel is like this? Now, ideal, of course, is 10 for everything. It takes attention to get there. But this kind of model helps you to see where I need to pay some more attention, to see where are the areas in which I'm a little bit lacking. And you can focus your efforts and find strategies for that. So now it's your turn. Okay? Some of you are doing it already, but I'm going to ask you, to make your wheel of contentment using this model, and then write to yourself a personal plan. What is my plan for 2025 using this model? Just in silence, take about 10 minutes or so. And can we have some really inspiring music to, okay? So make a plan by yourself. Just think by yourself. You can even move and sit somewhere else if you want to, or even go outside. But I'll be back in 10 minutes for the next part, right? So, how are you doing? Anybody need a minute or two more? Some of you have done some plan as well, written at least something that, okay, based on this, here is some kind of plan to upgrade myself this year. What do I need to take on board? What do I need to let go of? Both these things help us to make that quantum leap. Okay, to move on, does anybody want to say anything, ask anything, add anything, subtract anything, multiply anything, divide anything? No? Looks like a no. All right, let's come to the last couple of things then. And another aspect of our quantum leap is going into the unlimited. So here comes the next little diagram. I'm going to rub this off now. So how do we feel about life when our awareness is in the limited? Let's have a look at the spectrum of our awareness. So if it's something like this, let's say it's sort of, here it's very limited, and there's opening out into the unlimited. So let's call this here as limited awareness. So that's where our intellect is seeing life in a through a very narrow slice. We don't really understand anything. We don't know, who am I? Who are you? Why are we here? Is there something called God? What is life? What is death? Why do people die? Is there justice in the world? Is life spontaneous and random? Or is there some kind of mechanism by which ultimately justice happens? So when we live in a very limited awareness of life with no knowledge, then we feel very insecure. There's a deep, sometimes hidden insecurity. And when you feel insecure or unstable, then what do? What is the natural tendency? Okay. Let's say you're walking along the road on a very snowy and icy day in Bangkok, right? Or maybe in Europe somewhere. And as As you're walking, your feet slip because it's icy. You are falling. What would you instinctively do? Grab something, no? To break the fall. You'd grab anything without thinking. Maybe even a stranger passing by, you can grab anything. Oh, sorry. But at that moment, you don't think. It's an instinct to stay stable. You want to be stable. Same thing has happened to us on a mental and emotional level zillions of times, from the Copper Age to the end of the Iron Age. The mind has been holding on to a position, an idea, a self-image, a place, whatever it might be. The mind has developed all of these tendencies of holding on to something, and then forming a dependency, which then, of course, becomes an attachment. This is what Baba calls as the life of bondage, or Jivan Bandhan, bondage in life. Bondage in life, which means your happiness is very limited. Like today, I said, the droppings of a crow. Happiness is there, but then it disappears. And in this kind of life, there are lots of have-tos. I have to do this. I have to go to work. I have to take care of so-and-so. Baba calls that as the donkey life. It's like, you're being hit all the time. Move, 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 move. There's no freedom there. But then, at the other end of the spectrum, an opening out is unlimited awareness. And when you're in the unlimited, what happens is you begin to feel very secure, because you understand the laws and principles of life. And when the mind feels secure, then you are able to let go, release, let go. And when you let go, then you become free. And when you're free, this then leads to real happiness. Freedom is the prerequisite to happiness. So we want to go from the state of limited awareness into unlimited awareness. Yeah? How do you get there? How do you go from here to here? For that, you need rocket fuel. Just like, for example, to send a rocket out into space, ordinary car, benzene, petrol will not do the job. You need rocket fuel to give you the thrust to get beyond the gravitational pull of the earth. So too, to go beyond the gravitational pull of my limited beliefs about life and my sanskars, we need rocket fuel. That rocket fuel is called as spiritual knowledge, Gyan. That's what Gyan is. Gyan, and if you really work with Gyan, it gives you the power to fly beyond the gravitational pull of the false beliefs which we are still carrying, we're still holding on to. But Gyan is something we have to work with. We have to really go into the depths of it. We have to play with knowledge, we have to work with knowledge, we have to extract the maximum juice contained inside a point of knowledge. For example, let's say there are 84 people in this room. All right? They're all seated around in one big circle. 84. All right? And each of those is your past lives. Yeah, they're all sitting there looking at you. You're walking around meeting all your past lives, having a little cocktail party. In one hand, you've got your orange juice. The other hand, you're shaking hands with all your past lives. Hey, how are you? Right? They're all wearing different clothes according to the time period. In some births, you died old. In some births, you died very young. Some male, some female. Some may be of one race or another race. But those are all your past lives. Hello, birth number 24. Hey, we had a good time. Nice. 63. Okay, not bad, not bad. Okay. 82. Well, we won't talk to that one. Right. Now, when you see that you have worn all of these costumes, body costumes, then you think this is one of 84. Why I am so attached to this one? This is only one of 84. And so then you begin to feel secure. You're going into the unlimited. One reason for attachment is we think this is all there is. This is me, and this is all there is. So we naturally become attached to it. How to go beyond attachment is not pull something out of the mind, but take the mind into the unlimited. Be there. Because Baba tells us, come, I'm up here, be with me in the unlimited. When you're playing with the unlimited jewels of knowledge, you feel secure, you feel safe, stable, strong. And then your mind automatically lets go. Because you know there is nothing to lose. You begin to live with this, the truth, nothing is mine. If nothing is mine, it means I can lose nothing. If I can lose nothing, this becomes the basis for feeling very strong and secure. Now let's say another day, there's 168 people sitting in this room. These are all the parents you ever had. Right? 84 lives, 168 parents. They're all sitting in a room. And you enter the room. They all stand up at the same time and say, my child, come to me. You think, where should I go? And this one, where? You know, which one? They're all calling you. And you think, what's going on here? These have all been my parents in all my lives. Also, in some lives, I may have been their parent as well. Or brother, or sister, or husband, or wife. And you question, you scratch your head and you think, what's going on here? This is all a big game. It's a game. And you begin to discover the truth that actually no one belongs to you. But also, you don't lose anyone. This word loss I found in most languages, we say we're sorry for your loss. Last year we lost so and so. No, this is fake. You don't lose anyone because you don't own anyone. Okay? If you believe you own someone, and then when that person moves on, you think, I have lost them. You haven't lost anyone. Truth is, we play our parts, we dance together, we enjoy, then we meet again another time. Yeah? And then you learn the principle of pure love. The law of pure love. You can care, you can share, you can guide, you can encourage, you can inspire, you can uplift, but you cannot possess. The moment you try to possess, you're breaking the law of pure love. And when you break a law, there is always a penalty. That penalty, in this case, you lose your happiness. You lose your peace. So Baba's telling us, live in the unlimited. Now, let's say another day, there are 300 children in this room. These are all the children you've ever had in 84 life, maybe more, maybe less. But same principle applies. So why we become attached to the now is because we become ekaldarshi. We see only one aspect of time. The Baba wants us to be trikaldarshi. See the whole thing. Don't just see one slice of time. This is where spinning the cycle is very important. What happens when you spin the cycle is like your intellect goes into the unlimited, into the behad. And when you're in the unlimited, you are free. So this is the power of using Gyan, going into the depth of Gyan, especially cycle and tree and the karma philosophy. We have to individually work with these and go deep into them. All right. Now, there is another thing about 10 steps of going deep into a point of knowledge, but I'm going to have some compassion and mercy and say, you need a break, because I'm noticing some heavy eyelids, and it's not good to torture you with more gyan. So I think it's probably enough for now. Or you have a caffeine injection, and then we can have 20 minutes more, but I think probably enough for now, right? Anything you want to say or ask or comment? So far?
Om Shanti.
Okay. Yeah.
I was just saying, I had to go through so many people, so many faces, some different, yeah.
Okay. You want to say something?
ค่ะอยากจะให้บาเทอร์อธิบายเรื่องงานรับใช้อะค่ะพี่รู้สึกว่ายังแยกไม่ออกเรื่องงานรับใช้กับงานตัวเองอะค่ะเพราะว่าเหมือนกับตอนนี้ที่รู้สึกนะคะเวลาเราทำอะไรเนี่ยทุกอย่างที่เราทำเรามันก็ยังเป็นของฉันนะคะ แต่ว่าเราก็รู้สึกว่างานที่เราทำมันคืองานรับใช้ทั้งหมดอะค่ะพี่ไม่แน่ใจว่าเข้าใจถูกไหมเลยอยากจะให้บาเทอร์ช่วยอธิบายค่ะ
The question is how to differentiate between logic job rocking responsibilities and service of Brahmin family. Sometimes she feels that uh, this is there is no mind in her work. So can it be considered service for Brahmin life, service in for Baba?
Yeah, it's a very good, important question, actually. Just wait for Pin to reach her station.
So she is doing a lot of service and she needs something to understand deeper about. I think it's more like being a trustee, because when we do something and we kind of own it too, and how can this, like, is this right? Not like just logic work and spiritual work like that. That too, but more like a consciousness of doing service, something like that.
Yeah, it's important. And of course, Sakar Baba used to individually help Brahmins to understand this. The way I see it is like this, that, we have one alokik life. And within that, one part of it is taking care of the bodily family. So, for example, if you have children, if you have old parents, you should take care. But not just as a mother or a father or as a son or a daughter, but you, the soul, are taking care of that soul. And that's Baba's child. Or the parents, Baba, these are also your children. So you are alokikizing that situation. It's part of your alokik service as well. Then Baba has said if you have a house, for example, Baba would say, don't think it's my house, think it's Baba's house. And I am looking after it as a trustee. It helps me to remove the feelings of possessiveness and ownership. Baba, it's your house. I am looking after on behalf of you. Baba is your car. Baba, this is your whatever. So trusteeship helps us to detoxify from the ownership feelings. Then also with the job, if you have an office, if you have whatever you have, you think, okay, Baba, it belongs to you. Really in the heart, feeling this is not mine, Baba is yours. And as a trustee, let me take good care of it. So if you consider anything to be of spiritual service, it helps to purify your attitude. Plus, what I have seen is opportunities to serve, to do spiritual service, open up in that area. And many Brahmins, including myself, who worked in large multinational corporations, begin to think, okay, I'm here for Baba's service because it brings me into contact with many people. So I'm not just here to earn money, but coming into contact with others, a chance to do some spiritual service. And also, in some places, Brahmins organize a meditation club, for example, in the workplace, or a relaxation room, reflective room. And some companies have actually constructed a meditation room because one Brahmin suggested it. And then also others come, for the meditation club or the self-development association. And some have become Brahmins through that. So I always remember, myself when I started working, again, I thought it was like a failure to do the Lockheed job. And all the Kumaris, Dadi would tell them to live in the center, come for center training. But for me, no, you have to do a job. And I used to think, why? Why? She doesn't allow me. She said, you will learn more there. And I look back now and I see I understood what is office politics. I understood how business people think and the problems they face in business life. So then when I started going into companies to do Brahmin programs, I know the language to use. I know the issues they face. So that became useful for me in service. So in that sense, you just think in your heart, everything belongs to Baba, nothing is mine. And the main reason for me doing it is spiritual service. Then just see how many opportunities for service emerge when my consciousness is alokik as well. Yeah. Anything else? Oh, okay. So I think we hand back to Sister La, who's come with a smiling face in the cup. Question? Yeah. Okay. Can we have the mic? You can use this one. Take this one.
ถามแทนถามแทนเพื่อนคือบาบาบอกว่าให้หล่อเลี้ยงแต่ไม่ต้องให้จดจำอย่างเงี้ยเราหล่อเลี้ยงเพื่อนหรือใครเงี้ยแต่ไม่ให้จดจำเขาอะค่ะทำได้ยังไงคะ
Papa says we have to sustain others, but do not remember them. How can we do that?
Yeah, what it really means is, you may remember others, but don't have yoga with them. So, for example, if you're going to sustain someone, of course you will think of them. But it doesn't mean your intellect should be stuck with them. Don't have yoga with the person, but you remember them. For example, Saka Baba used to say, Baba remembers the serviceable children in the different centers in India. He remembers them. And therefore he would write to them or send them gifts. But what should not happen is that I'm trying to have yoga with Baba. At that time, I start thinking of some person. That should not happen. So even when we help others or remember them, it's in the context that this is also Baba's child. So Baba should always be in the picture, and that kind of sanitizes that remembrance. Does it make sense? So remember, but don't have yoga with a human soul. Remember one scene coming to mind. It's not exactly related to what you're saying, but I found it very meaningful. Once Bab Dada was meeting with the Europe group. This was in the early 90s. We used to sit on the stage in Om Shanti Bhavan, and Baba would meet the different groups. And sitting next to Baba was Dadi Janki, and the other side, I think Sudesh Didi or Gentiben. So anyway, like Baba asked to everyone that something like, who is sustaining you? And one sister said, Baba, Dadi sustains me a lot. A lot. She helps me a lot, sustains me a lot, supports me a lot. Baba sort of smiled. Baba said, who is sustaining her? Right? Means who is sustaining Dadi Janki? So Baba was giving the message that, of course, instruments are there, but Baba is the sustainer. And that we have to remember, that the ultimate support is Bab and Dada. And one of the reasons why he became avyakt is from upstairs, he can sustain us as well, all of us, all over the world. Right now, he's watching. Bab and Dada are watching. The thing they are always looking out for is cleanliness of the heart and courage. These two things God likes the most, a clean heart and courage. And when he notices that, it's like beep, 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 beep. Oh, okay. Let me send some extra blessings to this one. Yeah. And that's the wonder that, as he said in the Murli the other day, Baba turns on his TV, he turns on his television, and he watches us to see what we're doing anywhere in the world. And when we do the right thing, Baba encourages more. It's like in any situation, if something is not going well or someone's behavior is not good, if I ask myself, okay, how can I be strong, and which point do I need? When our attention is on the self, then in the subtle region, Baba does this. Good, good, good. He understood, she understood. It's all about self-transformation. But if in those situations I am complaining and finding the faults of someone else, Baba does something else. He does this. Like, the child didn't understand. You're supposed to transform yourself, not tell me about the weaknesses of others. So Baba is there as our support. In a family, of course, we all help each other. Especially in any family, older brother and sister's duty is to help and guide younger ones, like Dadis did with us. As Sister La would know, if we would say thank you to Dadi Janki for something, why are you saying thank you to me, she says. I'm your older sister. This is my job. It's my duty. Yeah? So they would see it as their duty. If they saw something you should pay attention to, might whisper in your ear, okay, try this or be careful about that. That's the duty of an older brother or sister. But still, the main support is the eternal support. And Baba can use any of us as instruments to help anybody else. All right, I think it's time for me to stop talking. You want to say something?
I noticed that many senior PK personality look like calm and goodness, right? But if like my own personality, a bit high energy, maybe naughty shy of Baba, playfulness, pretty joy. So do we need to change to be stay calm, Brahmin? สมมติว่าถ้าเกิดว่า personality ของเราอย่างเงี้ยค่ะโดยธรรมชาติแล้วเรารู้สึกแบบเป็นคนแบบสนุกสนานร่าเริงใช่ไหมคะแล้วทีนี้บามินส่วนใหญ่ personality จะแบบเงียบๆนิ่งๆอย่างเงี้ยค่ะแล้วเราจะต้องแบบเหมือนเปลี่ยนตัวเราไหมเพื่อจะต้องเป็นแบบคลิปลุกอะแบบให้มันนิ่งๆอะ
I think it's a good question. You don't have to become another person. Yeah? You have to be you, but inside you there is a Sato Pradhan and divine you, and you just have to bring that Sato Pradhan divine you out of you. At the same time, you can learn from others. So as we were talking the other day about balances, and a little bit this is about your point about humor and entertainment, so there is a balance there. Baba says be entertaining, but also be mature and serious. If you're too entertaining, people find you flippant and unable to carry responsibility. because you make a joke out of everything. And people say, I can't trust this guy. If you're too mature and serious, people find you dull and boring. So that's also not right. It's a balance in everything, but you are you. Yeah? So in the Brahmin family, there are some who are very silent kind of BKs. That's their nature. There are some who are more jolly, make everyone laugh and bring a vibrant, joyful energy into the room. That's their nature. There are some who are more loving, they're full of love, they want to love everyone, very kind of motherly. It's their nature, nothing wrong with that. Every soul is different. But whatever I am, I have to Sattva Pradhan-ize it. Make it Sattva Pradhan. I give one little example. I remember I kind of had this question my early years. And one time I was in Madhuban, maybe the first or second time, we were in a group of maybe 8 or 9 Brahmins. And in those days, we used to have like 6, 7 dadis living in Pandav Bhavan. There was no Gyan Srova or anything like that. So we were told that on one particular day, we would be taken to meet all the 6 or 7 dadis at different times of the day. So we thought, okay, great. And then I noticed how each dadi had a different personality. I thought, wow, it's okay to be who you are. You don't have to be a clone of someone. You know, so for example, Dadi Prakashmani, she was full of love. She hugs you and does this to the cheeks and, you know, like so full of love. Then Dadi Gulzar, very silent, beautiful silent energy. You don't feel like talking even when she's there giving the drishti. You know? And Dadi Janki, of course, you know, giving lots of gyan and clarifying every point and encouraging us to go deep into gyan. Dadi Manohar, the joy of paradise we saw in her eyes. She was so jolly. So then I realized that it's not they're trying to somehow twist their personality to become, you know, some kind of mold. It's okay to be you, but to divinize the you that you are. Otherwise, you feel suppressed. You know, you feel like, oh, I'm a robot and I'm not allowed to. And then it's unnatural. And after a while, you feel, oh, I can't do this anymore. So yeah, that's one of the big realizations I think to have is that there is a best me inside me, and my job is to bring the best me out, the Sattva Pradhan me out.
Adding to that, it's just like when just yesterday you mentioned, if someone's starting to attach to someone, no matter what, who, but you're starting to be like them. If I ask you who's the closest daddy that you feel, and you feel like you are the same like them, personality-wise?
Asking about me. I think I've picked up, obviously I've
Did
been...
you pick up my question? Okay, let me do it. อย่างเขาบอกเมื่อคืนใช่ไหมเมื่อวานใช่ไหมโอ้เดี๋ยวระวังนะใกล้ชิดกันเกินไปเดี๋ยวหน้าตาจะเหมือนกันคนยิ่งอยู่วัยแก่กันไปหน้าเหมือนกันเลยทั้งสามีภรรยาลุงกับป้าอะไรเนี่ยอยู่กันจนหน้าเหมือนกันเลยหมาก็หน้าเหมือนคนก็หน้าเหมือนหมาเอากันใหญ่เลยใครติดพันใครอะไรเงี้ยแล้วจะโยคะกับใครไอ้พี่ว่าเอาก็ไม่เหมือนกันก็จริงอ่ะแต่ถ้าเราใกล้ชิดกับใครมันก็ดูเหมือนเราจะเป็นไปอย่างเขาไงไอ้พี่ว่ายูบอกฉันสิว่าอยู่ใกล้ชิดกับดาดี้คนไหนมากที่สุดอ่ะบุคลิกภาพยูก็จะเป็นเหมือนเขาไง
Yeah, I've been exposed to a lot of dadis, didis, and dadas over 40 years. So I absorbed a lot. So I am the Brahmin family, actually. You will notice a lot of Brahmins inside me. In terms of dadis, of course, the most exposed one I was to was Dadi Janki because I was in London. But also, great inspirations from Dadi Gulzar's silence, power. And as I mentioned, Dadi Prakashmani's ocean of love and how she sustained everyone, but also this, senior brothers, the Rabbi and the big, Jagdish Bhai and Atam Bhai, Ramnath, all these were my heroes. So like I stole a little bit from everyone. Also stealing a few things from
You
you
look
as
like
well.
a chutney guy.
Huh?
You're a chutney guy. You get bits and pieces from everyone.
Bits and pieces of everyone. Well, these are the most elevated souls in the world, the Brahmin family. So who else to steal from? But of course, the main example is Baba.
All right.
And I remember once Bab Dada saying to double foreigners that you did not meet Brahma Baba personally, but you do feel when you meet the Dadis, you understand what Brahma Baba was like. Yeah? So within each one, there was like a piece of Brahma. And then because they were so close and they absorbed a lot from Baba. So there's that. But, also I had a great, great fortune of going to his house. I went to his house
In Karachi?
in Hyderabad.
Hyderabad.
Yeah, he wasn't there, but I went. I went to his place, and I very intoxicating to have been to the place, Jashoda Nivas, where Shiv Baba first came into Brahma.
In that particular spot. Did they still keep it?
Well, shall I tell you this quick story?
Okay.
Yeah. So I was in Karachi 4 times. And they'd asked me to go to Pakistan. Actually, she wanted me to move there, but that didn't happen. So one of the times I was taken from Karachi to Hyderabad, which is where everything started. And there was one guy there who was the only person who knew all the old Yagya places. Baba's house, the school where Mama and Dadi Prakashmani used to sit together, Dadi Janki's mother's house, all these places, he knew them. So, it was very exciting for me to go to Hyderabad. So we drove up there, but it's about a 2-hour journey by road from Karachi to Hyderabad. And our contact was waiting there, this guy. I think his name was Kishore or something, Kishore Kumar, a short man, very proud man, white hair, swept back, handlebar mustache, wearing a jacket. So we get out of the car and he says, "Welcome to Hyderabad." Like that. Okay, great. He says, "You want to see Baba's house?" "Yes, follow me." So we start walking, and it's like a commercial district. It's like how Mount Abu used to be 30 years ago. The little bags and things falling into the street. You're walking through these tiny alleyways. Goats are there, chickens are there, sheep are there, all getting in the way. So I'm wondering, where are we going? Is it near? Is it near? I'm asking him, "Kishore Bhai, is it near?" He says, "Keep walking, follow me." Keep walking. And finally, he suddenly stops. He says, "This is the Shodhanivas." And I'm going, wow, this is it. This is the place where the confluence age started. There's no sign there. Like, if you go to Gandhi's birthplace, there's a sign, Alexander the Great sign, probably some sign where the former king was born. But here, Shiv Baba's birthplace, no sign, no nothing. And now it's a shop which sells bags and bangles and jewelry and everything is there being sold. And it was under construction at that time. So we went upstairs where Baba's room used to be, apparently. And again, it was broken. It was under construction. But I was just staring there like open mouths, eyes wide open. This is the place. And then Kishore Bhai says, "Shall we move?" I said, "No, wait. I need to see this place." So I went up and, I tried to film a little bit, take some pictures. And then he told me, "Oh, put your phone away," because this was about 15 years ago, and it was a simple phone, but it was a Western phone. And in that place in Pakistan, if somebody sees you have something good, you can easily get a gun to your head, and they will take it from you. I saw that a couple of times there, so I quickly had to put my phone away. But I just felt privileged, to have seen the place where Baba had first come into Brahma. And so that kind of made another level to my connection with this soul, Vajapita Brahma. And when I see the old pictures, old Yagya pictures, it just feels so real. Feels so, understanding Shiv Baba and Brahma Baba, the connection these two have with each other. How was his relationship with Shiv Baba, and how was Shiv Baba's relationship with him? There are certain things that they don't tell us. Like the parents talk amongst themselves, there are certain things they don't tell the children. So between them, they have a special contract. But yet, how fortunate we are to be sustained by the Supreme Soul and the number one human soul. We just have to enjoy what this confluence age is about. And with the family, of course, as well. All right.
ถามอะไรไหมคะเดี๋ยวก่อนจะจบระบบ
A new BK asked that when she sits in meditation, try to be in silence, and then too many thoughts come up. Thoughts multiply, wandering, the mind wandering. So how to overcome that, how to remain in silence, how to practice, what the how to.
Yeah, one thing to know is, this yogi life is a package deal. Yeah? So when you can't concentrate or be silent, that time you have to churn the knowledge rather than fighting with the waste thoughts, but bring gyan into your intellect and start churning. It could be something from the Murali. You could revise a lesson of the course for yourself. You could think about a virtue. You could think about one of the 8 powers. So what happens is, while you're busy churning these pure and elevated thoughts, it gives power to the intellect. And with that power, again, your concentration will come back. In fact, one soul had asked to Bab Dada this question, that Baba, if yoga can make you pure, why do you tell us to churn the knowledge? Baba gave this answer. He said, when you have yoga, Maya will interfere and break your yoga. At that time, you can't connect. That time you have to churn. So these two go together, Gyan and yoga, brother and sister. They go in tandem. They are partners.
If we can't change from shell into diamond instantly, would it be okay?
to remain shell be okay to remain shell
Would it be okay?
If we cannot change from shell into diamond instantly in a short time, as Baba said in the Murli, should we feel guilty or?
Yes, feel guilty and depressed, sad and suicidal. No, don't feel those things at all. Do not feel bad, even for a moment. You see, the context is important. It took Baba 33 years to become karmatit. So it doesn't happen instantly, but there is a meaning to it. The meaning is like, waking up to truth. So instantly is like the difference between being asleep and being awake. It takes a second when you wake up. So what happens to us is that when we are spiritually asleep, it's as though I have forgotten some basic truths. I'm a soul, I'm a child of God. This whole thing is just a play, it's a drama, it's a theater. It's not to be taken too seriously. In the early days of Yagya, if somebody was in a bad mood or a little bit, low, they would use the phrase, he or she is in vismriti. Now, smriti means to be aware. Vismriti means to be unaware. So although that person has knowledge, they have fallen into unawareness. And therefore, they are taking things too seriously or they are overthinking. So the thing to do is just come back into awareness. Why am I worrying? I am a soul. Why am I worrying? I'm a child of God. Why am I fighting feelings of injustice when law of karma exists? There's going to be justice in everything. So in a second, waking up and you begin to feel better. Now, if you feel a bit low, it may be a good idea to go and look in the mirror, point and say, wake up, please. Wake up. Yeah? Just come back into the awareness of the unlimited. The more we practice to stay in the unlimited, as we saw here, the more our happiness stays alive. Yeah? But you should not feel guilty at all. And even Baba banned in one Murli, he banned feeling disheartened. Yeah? He says that belongs to the past. Don't feel disheartened, but wherever you are, however you are, you know that Baba accepts me as I am, and just make honest efforts and keep moving ahead, keep moving forward.
โอเค ไม่มีอะไรแล้วนะคะ จริงๆแล้วเราบอกเขาว่าเราให้เขาชั่วโมงหนึ่งอะไรอย่างนี้นะคะเพราะเราต้องจัดระบบที่ต้องทานข้าวเร็วแล้วก็พักผ่อนนิดนึงแล้วก่อนจะเดินทางเราได้ตกลงกันแล้วคุณโยเกชก็เห็นด้วยเพราะพี่ว่าทุกคนอยากจะเบรกออกไปอยู่ข้างนอกและทำกิจกรรมก็ไม่มีอะไรเลยมีเรื่องสถานที่ที่เราจะนั่งสบายคุยกันได้บ้างถามไทยกันไปเหมือนแชทอยู่กับครอบครัวสนุกสนานแต่ก็ไม่รู้สถานที่ลงตัวแล้วหรือยังคุณหญิงก็กำลังวุ่นวายอยู่แต่พี่เคียงอาจจะต้องตัดสินแทนว่าจะให้ไปตรงไหนได้บ้างเรื่องราวก็คือว่าจบตอนนี้แล้วก็รีบทานอาหารก่อนเที่ยงแล้วเสร็จแล้วก็พักอีกสักอย่างมากที่สุดออกจากที่นี่บ่าย2 โมงรถที่ต้องออกก่อนก็คือขบวนก็จะมีรถของพี่สุทธิต้องไปก่อนไปแล้วไปเลยง่ายๆจะแวะได้สักที่นึงอะไรเงี้ยใช่ไหมคะแล้วก็รถของคุณป้อมจะต้องไปแล้วกลับไปบ้านเลยแต่ที่รู้ว่าสถานที่ที่จะไปคือเทพ sorry there's gonna be in your a place of tourist ใกล้อยู่กับอะไรสถานที่แรกที่เราจะไปก็คือไปส่งป้อมตรงนั้นเลยแล้วกันนะคะหรือยังไงก็แล้วแต่เอาเป็นว่าไปด้วยกันได้หมดเนี่ยแหละแต่ว่าพี่สุเทพต้องแยกเพราะอยากจะกลับบ้านก่อนมืดอะไรเงี้ยแล้วก็คุณป้อมก็อยากจะเข้าที่ตัวเองไปเลยก็ประมาณนี้นะคะเทพพิมานเนี่ยอยู่ใกล้ๆเขาด้วยเหมือนกันพี่ก็เลยว่าเราจะเอายังไงกันอีกไหมตอนนี้พี่เคียงคิดว่ายังไงคะต้นไม่ใช่ไปที่ป้อมนะครับไปที่เทพพิมานนะคะไปที่พิมานแล้วก็ไปส่งไม่ต้องครับป้อมเขามีรถของเขาอยู่แล้วค่ะเพียงแต่ว่าเขาจะได้เลยกลับไปเลยตรงนั้นไป17 องศาไม่ไป17 องศาทำไมล่ะน้องแล้วพี่จะจ๋าอ๋อก็ผ่านหรือเปล่าผ่านบ้านน้องหรือเปล่าล่ะผ่านหรือเปล่าล่ะน้องผ่านบ้านน้องหรือเปล่าถ้าว่าจุดประสงค์คือไปเทพพิมานโอเคทีนี้ก็เป็นอย่างนั้นนะคะทีนี้พี่กำลังจะบอกเรื่องเครื่องแต่งกายค่ะเราตั้งใจ3 สิ่งเนี่ย I'm say something behind you and then 3 สิ่งที่บอกว่าเราอยากจะทำให้เขาเข้าใจว่าสิ่งที่เขาเป็นสิ่งที่เขาชอบเนี่ยมันมีผลมีกับชีวิตเราถ้าเขาไม่เป็นอย่างนี้เนี่ยเขาคงไม่ทำอย่างนี้ได้สิ่งที่เขาชอบอย่างที่บอกแล้วนะคะดอกกุหลาบ ดอกกุหลาบอะไรนะดอกกุหลาบช้างอะไรเงี้ยแล้วก็สีฟ้าอะไรเงี้ยเราก็เตรียมละวันเนี้ยใส่ชุดสีฟ้ากันแน่เดี๋ยวลงน้ำแน่อะไรเงี้ยก็เราคิดว่าอย่างนั้นพี่ว่างั้นก็ใส่ชุดสีฟ้าออกไปเลยกันไหมจะได้ไม่ต้องใส่ชุดสีขาวกันเลยใครจะได้ใส่ชุดสีฟ้าเมื่อวานนี้พี่ปูกับพี่เกี้ยงก็แต่งตัวเกอร์ฝาแฝดเขาทำอะไรต้องแฟชั่นฝาแฝดก็ให้ใส่สีฟ้ากันไปเลยอันนี้เราก็จะมีบ้างเล็กน้อยมีไม่มีก็ไม่เป็นไรอย่างน้อยมันไม่ใช่เป็นบาร์มินขาวจัวอะไรเงี้ยวิ่งไปทำจุนจ้านก็ไม่ค่อยดีเท่าไหร่ทีนี้รถอีกคันนึงก็คือรถน้องพินก็ทำงานหนักมากเลยตอนนี้ก็เลยว่ามีแค่นี้ใช่ไหมรถบ้านอีกคันหนึ่งก็3-4 คันนี้น่าจะพอแต่พี่พินคิดว่าพี่สุทธิไปแล้วไปเลยไปกันด้วยกันได้แต่ว่าไปเลยนั้นรถพอไหมจ๊ะคำนวณเลยรถพี่เกี้ยงนั่งได้4รถบ้านนั่งได้5แล้วก็รถน้องพินนั่งได้4อะไรเงี้ยแค่นั้นแหละกี่คนคะช่วยนัดเลยค่ะแล้วใครต้องกลับก่อนเลยใครไปได้เลยออกไปเลยออกไปรับออกไปเลยก็คือน้องหนิงกับไปนั่นกลับไปเลยใช่ไหมคะน้องหนิงกับนั่นกลับไปเลยก็ต้องรถเขาไปได้แต่ว่าเขาเลยกลับเพราะฉะนั้น2 คนเขาออกไปถ้า2 คนไปนั่งกับเขาก็ต้องกลับเองกับเราช่วยคำนวณกันเลยอย่างเร็วได้ไหมคะตอนนี้พี่กำลังจะให้ของขวัญเขาค่ะจะได้พูดกันตอนนี้เลยว่าของขวัญอะไร so แต่เตรียมเพลงแต่ว่า before us winding up Brother Tai has the one who take care of the sense of humor for today. Can you just really say something bit or example of sense of humor that you experience yourself because you have that deep sense and people really enjoy when Yogesh come up on the stage and say something funny. He looks so good, he looks so great, but then when he says something make people laugh, he will be a different person. เห็นอย่างนี้นะท่าทางเท่ๆเป็นเจ้าชายอย่างนี้นะเดี๋ยวเขาพูดเลยตลกคนตลกขำกิ้งเลย เพราะฉะนั้นก็ลุกขึ้นมาร้องเพลงเฉยเลยอะไรเงี้ยเพลงเพราะอีกต่างหากor you prefer to have back to your I did it my way I don't know okay maybe you finish your job of sense of humor เดี๋ยวพี่จะแปลไว้นะเธอมาอัดเลยแล้วเธอก็ so this is his sharing from you
I mean, I've always liked to laugh
เขาอยากหัวเราะ
and find things funny, and then I enjoyed making other people laugh as well. So even from a young age at school, I used to find things funny. Then I found that other people started laughing when I started saying some things. Then I just felt that people are nice when they are laughing. And I read something once somewhere that the closest distance between any 2 people is when they're laughing. So for example, let's say you have 2 enemies, 2 sworn enemies, and they happen to go to the same theater show, the same comedy show. They don't know the other one is there. They're laughing at what's on stage. Then the lights come on and they see each other. At that moment, they are together because they are laughing at the same thing. So I realized that there's also a great spiritual benefit in people laughing. It brings them onto the same plane. It helps to calm things down, helps to open the heart. So I just find some things I find amusing, some things I find absurd.
what absolute
Absurd.
What does it mean?
Silly. So I think part of the job of a comedian or as a comic is to highlight silly things we do in a funny way. To hold up a mirror so people can see themselves and think, wow, if you tell someone directly, you are like this, you should not do that, you should not do that, they may get upset or they may reject it. But if you show it in a comical way, they laugh at themselves, saying, yeah, I do that, I do exactly the same thing. So it's also a way to communicate a message in an entertaining way. I think also as one brother said something, he said sometimes in the Brahmin life, you can be here in terms of your stage, but on a particular day, you may be here. And it's good to fill that gap with humor rather than with guilt and feeling bad and feeling heavy, you know? So learn to laugh at yourself, learn to take it easy, learn to enjoy nature, enjoy life. Not everything has to be super serious. Then I found that, you know, people also need that as well to know how to take themselves lightly. There's a lot of research also on, you know, the importance of humor in life, why humans need to laugh, the effect it has upon you psychologically as well, upon your body as well. Yeah, and the brain, exactly. Yeah.
โอเคนะคะ
Yeah.
ได้ประเด็นแล้วนะคะ
So you should never, you know, lose that childlike nature, not childish, but childlike.
เหมือนเด็ก
And
ไม่ใช่เป็นเด็กไร้ประโยชน์เหมือนเป็นเด็กที่เหมือนเป็นเด็กอ่ะ
playing is important.
playful
To
ที่
be
เล่นแต่ไม่
playfulness.
ใช่ว่า เป็นเด็กไร้สาระไม่ใช่ชายดิชนี่มันเหมือนเด็กไม่ได้เรื่องแต่ชายไลค์คือเด็กน่ารักเด็กที่มันเป็นเด็กที่มันมี
So
สาระ
let's say Brahma Baba had also, you know, a playful nature.
นี่ก็แบบมากก็เป็นขี้เล่น
And, you know, we saw Dadi Prakashamani very much a playful nature as
แล้ว
well.
ก็ดาดิประกาศมานีก็เป็นคนขี้เล่น
Yeah. Didi Manmohini, she used to call you for Toli, Didi Manmohini. She would put like this, so you're opening your mouth, and then she'd go like this, put it in her own mouth. You know, so she'd trick you, then here, then like this. Like that. I was surprised when I first saw these things because I thought spirituality meant you have to be serious, you have to be quiet, you have to sit in a room with not much furniture and an agarbatti incense stick, and just that's what it means. But when I saw in Madhuban the playfulness of Madhubani Vasis, Dadis, Dadas, I thought, yeah, I could do this. I could be like that. It's okay to laugh, you know, it's okay to have fun. Of course, everything must be in moderation. You know, nothing should go into extreme. But part of this life is playing and having fun. And that's why in the Madhuban program, especially when Dadiji used to plan the program, she would make sure in every double foreign group, is there a trip to Peace Park to play games?
yeah picnic
Is there Baba's Rock? Is there a picnic? Is there cultural program? You know, as well as yoga bhattis, gyan workshops, classes, because it's a life. It's not only study, it's a life. And if your heart needs, if your social needs are not being met in the Brahmin life, then you look for it outside. Yeah? So then you would look for it outside. So life means study and have yoga, have your social needs met, play, enjoy, and also do service as well.
thank you
Yeah.
โอเคนะคะเดี๋ยวต้องให้ของขวัญคุณโยเกชละในนามของครอบครัวทั้งหมดพี่เองพี่แดงมาแจกของขวัญให้พี่แดงมาที่เป็นของที่พี่แดงพี่ขอน้องมาหยิบน้องรู้นะอันนี้คืออะไรพี่แดงมีของขวัญให้โยเกชพิเศษ Sister Dang which is on behalf of yeah this is to just want you to get what you think you like and open it up for everyone to know exactly what's it like okay เปิดเพลงพี่จ๊ะ Sister Dang have that privilege to give you this gift because you like it. I just want you to open it. Everyone, so out of human curiosity, wants to know what exactly you got. ความอยากรู้อยากเห็นมนุษย์รู้เขาได้อะไร
เมื่อยามแรกบานส่งกลิ่นหอมหวานชื่นบานในใจสีสันบริ สุขสดใส
You heard some word,
อยู่
kurap.
ในจิตใจ
Yeah, that is Thai word as well, kurap. Not kurap jamon, kurap.
ดอกกุหลาบนั้นมีความหมายเป็นดอกไม้
We converted from a really famous
ส
song.
วยเด่น
You can cut it. I'll beat it up เลยค่ะเอาการตัดจะเสียเวลาง
ดงามหนักหนา
ใครยังไม่เคยร้องสิคะคุณก้องเคยร้องสมัยโบราณร้องเดี๋ยวนี้เลยเร็ว
จงเป็น
ป้าร้องเพลงให้เกสฟังเลย
ดอกไม้สุดทางจริงที่ไม่มีพิษ
It has to be in this way because the material is just like that อันนี้เป็นหลักมาจากระบบที่โรงงาน
ให้เรารื่นรม
ออกเลยขอบคุณ
ใครๆได้ชมดอกกุหลาบเอ่ย
Why you like กุหลาบ
ดอกไม้ทางใจที่ไม่มีพิษ
เทียบกว่าอีกทีนึง You can give away because we're not really but then each thing is made especially
ใครๆได้ชม
Okay you open
ด
that
อกกุห
เดี๋ยวเราไปก่อน
ลา
นะ
บเอ่ย
จงเป็นดอกไม้ทางจิต This is real tea the stand itself maybe really and then tea น้องไปเอาไม้ไปกันแจกโทรีจ้ะThat's specially painted, hand painted, but from her factory, famous. No, from her factory, famous factory, ceramic factory in Chiang Mai. That is, they exported worldwide. But when we selected this one to paint the roses on, and then I just get the word for you. And this is really a teak. Used to keep it. Yeah. นี่ค่ะดอกกุหลาบจากโรงงานเซรามิกเรียกว่าเกรมประชาคอลเลกชันค่ะขอให้พี่แดงมีความเจริญออกจากเกรมประชาถึงกลายเป็นลูกบาได้งั้นไม่ออกก็ไม่ได้เป็น ก็อันนี้ก็คือโอเค always is forever special rose อันนี้คือ this is you so what is all about rose that you like อยากจะรู้ว่าเขาทำไมเขาชอบดอกกุหลาบน้องอย่าเอาไปขว้างนะจะเก็บ It's not in Thailand maybe in India บอกว่าเขามันให้กลิ่นหอมไหมให้กลิ่นหอม That's allโอเคเก็บไปกราบไหว้บูชานะดอกกุหลาบเนี่ยทำน้ำหอมทำ essence Okay, you can add it up. You can add it up before giving a totally. What is something to do with the rose? You remember? With the power of no, the rose, not the rose itself. It's the power to change itself. You remember one of the way of teaching people when you want to change. This is a metaphor for people who want to change. The rose is such a symbol of changing itself from getting the manicure with the bad smell and turn to be a beautiful smell, and that's how the rose symbolizes. อันนี้ก็คือสิ่งไหนที่ได้จากทางจิตวิญญาณคือดอกกุหลาบจะมีพลังสูงมากเลยในการเปลี่ยนหวีคอกที่เหม็นมากให้กลายเป็นกลิ่นหอมของตนเองได้สามารถจะเปลี่ยนแปลงได้ถึงขนาดนั้นไหม So thank you for coming for whole transformational change in Thailand with the roses. Okay, anything else? มีอะไรไหมคะ So now we decided to wear blue, whatever kind of blue we're gonna go along to this today. You have something blue? Did you like? You don't have to tell now. We're gonna just have different place to talk about this. hopefully that we can go ตกลงหญิงว่าไงจะไปไหมที่เนี่ยจ้ะจ้ะไม่ต้องกินกาแฟได้ไหมล่ะ so this a place called the Rose is something the Rose Garden somewhere here 45 minutes either we want to go there and sit on the park a beautiful surrounding that is one thing we can have a choice then we decided and then another place they have a museum with cafe and that kind of thing พี่เคียงมีอะไรเสนออีกไหมคะพี่เคียงมีอะไรเสนออีกสถานที่ไหนคะแล้วก็ไปนั่งที่ต่างๆได้อะค่ะแล้วก็เอาให้แน่อ๋อไม่ไปตรงไปที่พิพิธภัณฑ์ได้ไม่ต้องไปบ้านป้อมก็ได้ค่ะ